Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. If we are live, bear with me, please. There you go. There you go. I'm learning stuff. I am learning stuff. I try to do this. Can I do an intro? Is it too late to do an intro? Yeah! All right. So let me take these off here. I was wondering where I was hearing that from. Let me mute this here, bad boy. Bear with me, guys. I'm glad that nobody's here right here at the beginning. So if you're just catching this on the rewind, just fast forward and look for the after the video thing. So I'm glad that somebody is hopefully watching this after the fact, and that you will get some knowledge about drawing and a little bit about independent comics. I did want to go through some things. I was watching some YouTube this week where on Comic Book Radio, my buddy Pete and Robert Geronimo went ahead and shared their art supplies, and I wanted to kind of go through that myself and show you how uncomplicated it can be. So let me I'm struggling here. I know I say this every time, but I'm learning how to do this. Let me see. Oh boy, this other thing here has. I'm gonna play some music. So hang tight with me. Don't go anywhere. And I hope you're hearing the music. There are. Oh, there it is. Skip that. Okay. All right. So I did want to go through some supplies, but I did want to start off with some news. Some news. I don't know if you'll be able to see this when I turn this on. Can you see this? There we go. This is the trade paperback. What is the deal? Is it getting chopped off up top here? Can I move this down? Can you see that? Boom. And so this came in today, this week. This is the Alpha Red Volume 1 trade paperback. I'm flipping through it underneath the table here. So the lighting is bad for right now. I'm going to pull it out from underneath the table. You know what? I might as well do that now because I'm going to be using that. See, it's like magic for you. But then, from underneath the table, underneath my desk here, my standing desk, comes this. All right, let me resituate the microphone so that you can hear me better. I'm a soft talker mostly a soft talker. So there you go. Here we go. Hopefully this doesn't interrupt that. And all right, we got this. But yeah, Alpha Red number 1, Volume 1, trade paperback, was picked up this week by me at the printer, and so we are set to go, friends. I will be packaging them up the rest of today, probably tomorrow even, and sending them out on Monday. There are four of you who supported me on the Kickstarter, but have not given me your mailing address. So if you are one of the four, I would love to send you one of these Alpha Red Volume 1s because you deserve it. You deserve it mostly because you paid for it. You paid for it, so I want to send it to you. I don't want you to miss out on the awesome adventures of Alpha Red. Let me see if I can get this light, this circle light. It's a mess, guys. It's a mess. I'm learning. It's a learning curve for me. So everything should be, all the trade paperbacks should be mailed out on Monday, and then the rest of the hardback, the hardbacks also came in. I don't want to show you because I don't want to ruin the surprise, but they are looking fire also, and I just wanted to do some inspection on them and I might do a dust jacket. I might do something else. So I don't want to ruin the surprise because I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But they won't go out until probably next Saturday or the following week. To be honest, I don't want to overpromise, but they are here, and it's just really, really waiting on me to send out. So I did want to also go through some other things, like what I'm reading, and I was able to pick up some comics from Alterna Comics. This was also Pete Samedi from Comic Book Radio, along with Blood Realm by Robert Geronimo. I was able to read the first issues of each of these. Actually, I also read issue number 2 of Blood Realm, and so that was also something that was. Let me turn this down and hit play on that. And all right. But yeah, so these were very good, highly recommended, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention. My son really loved King Cryptid. He's 16, and he read all 4 of them that are available, so he recommends them. He liked them a lot. This one I didn't allow him to read. There are some darker tones in it, nothing that is bad, but even though he's 16, we shelter him a little bit, so he can find those when he's 18. But yeah, so the main story is Alpha Red, and just wanted to let you know that it is in and it is ready. So before we get to the drawing, I did want to show you some of the tools that I use, because on that live stream with Robert Geronimo and Pete Samedi, they went through some of their finer art supplies and some that were not so fine. And I wanted to agree with them that you don't need special tools necessarily to create your masterpiece. I have very few anymore specialized pencils and pens. Like, this is my 4H, but this is not by any means something that I regularly use. I do use it to start off. You'll see me starting off with a lighter pencil just to get the composition, and then I really very quickly go into it with just your run-of-the-mill HB number 2, the Scantron approved number 2 pencil, and that's really what I use to draw the bulk of my pictures. And then I'll go in afterward. Well, this is the final, but I use these Micron pens, these Pigma Micron pens that come in a variety of sizes. So that is my go-to for that. Then I'll come in with an ink brush, and these are relatively cheap, these Zebra ones, and they last a long time. This one probably cost $225 like 2 or 3 years ago, and it still goes. I go in and out of them, so it just comes back to life for some reason. Like, even when it's dying, after it's dying, I'll stick it in my bag, and then after a couple of weeks, I pull it out, and it's almost like new. I also use these Pitt pens. let me grab the bigger. There's a really, really big Pitt pen here that is a lifesaver. Well, it's a time saver, really. It's a big boy. I like to. This is B for black, but I call it the big boy, and it takes care of some spot blacks like you wouldn't believe. It's pretty quick, and it's great. It's great until it's not great when it starts to fade, and then you don't notice it until you go to scan it in, and the black isn't as black as you think or you hope it would be. But the Pitt pens are also something that I use. And then when I need to kind of erase-ish or create negative space, I use these painters. I don't even know who does them, but I get them at Walmart. Express Yourself, medium, white. I don't know. It's called Painters Opaque Paint Markers. So it is very super helpful. So if you're just joining the chat, I would love to hear from you. Just say hi, so that I know that you are with me, that you're out there with me. All right, I'm gonna show you what we are gonna draw today. So if you follow me on Facebook or on Instagram, you will have seen some pictures that I posted this week, and I did not show you that I drew them on my sketch covers, but this is what you would have seen if you were on Facebook or Instagram. I think I maybe even posted it on Twitter. But these were some leftover sketch covers from previous Kickstarters. And so I decided to kind of use them to draw some of the characters that inspired the look of Alpha Red. So if you have followed me on any other live stream that I've been on, a lot of people ask me where I got the inspiration for the look of Alpha Red. So if you look at Alpha Red, I'm going to give you Alpha Red here. So part of his look, his visors and the exposed hair come from the visors and exposed hair of my favorite version of Cyclops, the X-Men Cyclops. So I'll keep that handy because I'll show you who else inspired the look of Alpha Red. So I did the pencils, I scanned them, then I scanned the inks, and then I colored them by hand. So I used markers. Let me see if I have the markers here. I do have the markers handy. And these also are just a hodgepodge of stuff that I buy cheap from any kind of store. If I come by an art supply place and I have not tried something and it's relatively cheap, I just buy them and see if they work for my purposes, and they largely do. I mean, I even do the Sharpie coloring. These aqua markers, I don't know, they're from like a bazillion years ago, but I don't color a lot of my stuff by hand, so they're there. I bought Prismacolor markers way back then, before the Copic markers became popular. But yeah, these are what bring the magic to life. So I wanted to stay with the theme of the characters that inspired the look of Alpha Red. So, and I have sketch covers for all 5 issues of the original version before I moved Alpha Red to Starcross Comics. So if you don't know, you can pick up Alpha Red through Starcross Comics, starcrosscomics.com. Issues 1 and 2 are available. Issue number 3 will be available at the end of this month, and I'm thinking that I might make all 5 available by the end of this month or early next month, so that you don't have to wait. It was just kind of a way to introduce Alpha Red to Starcross Comics readers, but a lot of people are anxious to get the whole story, even just because they know that the whole story exists. So underneath is the markers, and then I did colored pencils on top of that, just using a white colored pencil, and that kind of helped blend the blue and kind of erase some of the streaks from the cheaper markers. And then on top of the colored pencil, I dropped some of the paint, some of the opaque white paint. And I do have another version of that's more like a pen. It gets a finer line. But the more you use different mixed medium, it comes out. It's hard to layer on top of stuff that's not supposed to be layered on top of each other. So it was hard to kind of get some of the top mediums to stick to the lower mediums. Plus, this isn't the best paper that I've ever worked on for sketch covers. It's kind of slick, but it's better than it used to be. So I want to share with you the next character that influenced the look of Alpha Red. So I'm gonna hide it. I'm gonna move Cyclops away. Whoever's watching, do you have a guess on who the next inspiration to Alpha Red's look? Has a lot to do with his coloring. And well, without further ado, the next character is, you guessed it, Deadpool. So just the red and the black inspired some of the look of Alpha Red. So I mean, there's it's just similar in some ways and not in other ways, but that's where we're at. So I wanted to keep the same theme as the Cyclops. I felt that the Cyclops turned out pretty good. So it's just him crossing his hands and just kind of floating. So just an upper body thing. So I kept that theme, and so I don't want to ink this quite yet because I do want to use these as fundraisers to continue creating the next Alpha Red. So I am working on Alpha Red number 6. So let's hide the next character. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. Who is the next character that helped inspire Alpha Red? This next character more or less inspired his personality, at least the beginning of his personality, who he is under the mask. And he's just your friendly neighborhood handyman, and he can't catch a break in real life. So his inspiration was Peter Parker, and Spider-Man was one of my favorite characters growing up. That's who I started collecting first, was Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. And so this picture will be of Spider-Man, and same theme where it's just mostly him, top half of him, and cuts off at the waist. So all of them will be similar. And I don't want to do too much. I'll go back to this one if I finish the other one by 4:30. And I'm only doing it in pencil, this draw stream. I do want to make sure that I do them well, because I plan to use them to fundraise for the coloring and the lettering of Alpha Red number 6. So when you get on to these draw streams, I feel a little rushed. I'm doing the technology stuff, and it just doesn't always come out as polished as I would prefer. So today we're gonna start off on a blank slate here and draw the next character that had an influence on who Alpha Red is, and I'll let you guess for a little bit as I draw him. And you can tell me as soon as you think you know who this character is. But it kind of harkens back to, well, the character more or less powers wise is kind of just takes after this character, and and powers wise is really the best, the most influential, and his character too, as far as someone who's trying to do the right thing, like the heroism of him and the eventual bravery. So he really, Alpha Red will really embody this guy's spirit, kind of, as far as heroes go. You want this guy to be the who he ends up being as a hero. So I should have did a little bit of research on the pose that I had in mind. Excuse me as I pop over to this other screen and Google an image. Lots of wires here, lots of wires. Just gonna hit Google. And I'm just kind of wanting to be inspired by a certain pose, and I want people to immediately kind of put the pose together with the character I want to draw. So I see that it is not quite what I remember it in my brain. So I'll keep his head there. Any guesses? Any guesses out there? Any guesses as to who this character who influenced our guy Alpha Red, someone who he should want to be like? Yeah, so maybe you know, maybe you can figure out who, well, at least this pose. This pose, at least, is pretty universally recognizable. And then from that, you might be able to guess who this fourth hero that has influenced, what kind of hero Alpha Red aspires to be like. A hero that is unwavering in his quest to do the right thing. It's really inspiration for using this character as an influence. That and, the power set that he has. And if you know Alpha Red's power set, he is strong, he is fast, he is athletic, and he was given that power via a government organization, kind of. Not the government, not the US government or the government of any country, but a government nonetheless, some kind of organization. So that's the idea behind Alpha Red and his similarity to this guy as far as being influenced. Any guesses? Alright. No guesses, huh? Alright, so that is... Well, we want to make sure his eyes are in there. nose is in the right place. So as I'm drawing this, I'm really also thinking about the other covers that I used, and how I want to also keep it similar to that theme where they're on there like that. So if you haven't already guessed it, you're soon gonna, when I put the final detail, one of the final details on his costume here. And let me see here. Just checking it out. So yeah, if you've heard me on other live streams, you'll know this character and how he has influenced our guy, Alpha Red. Where I just need a thinner eraser. Here we are. So the face is kind of a weird thing when you're drawing it. You can go pretty wrong pretty fast just because we know what faces look like, and whether we want to admit it or not, we have a universal understanding of what a good-looking face looks like. And it's not always one singular whatever. Obviously there are exceptions, and the personality of a person really can make them break out of unattractive features. But for the most part, there's a symmetry that we all appreciate as far as good-looking people, and so the mouth is a little smaller, the nose is proportionate to the face. Those kinds of things help to define whether or not a person is handsome or beautiful or considered beautiful. Now, obviously there are people who break out of that mold, and the uniqueness of their features really kind of separates them. Let me see, 1, 2, 3. That's the fourth finger. So it's got to end right there. That'll be his index finger. This will be his thumb over here. I've got a picture of Uncle Sam on the other screen here. The hand goes up a little bit to kind of cover, like touches his chin here, but we want to keep it also similar to the theme of the other heroes that I've drawn. So it's got to be just broad shoulders, super broad shoulders, and let's see, we do like that. A little star on his chest. Brings across the top of the ribs there. And his abs are cut in half by the red that's in the middle. So the red is the darker color. That'll just remind me there to make sure that's dark. And that'll be dark over here. And this will be dark over here. And then we'll give him a big old belt buckle right there. So, if you are enjoying this draw stream, I would appreciate it if you smash that subscribe button, hit that like button. That helps the algorithm, they tell me, or at least I hear that said by people on the YouTubes, on all the videos. Everybody always asks you to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, so you ring that bell so you don't miss a video. And so I am trying to do more scheduled videos. The original plan was to drop a video every Wednesday, and I definitely have the subject matter to talk about that I'd like to talk about when it comes to creating independent comics, but it's just a matter of time in trying to get the videos recorded and edited. So I'll start recording it, and then I'll remember another thing, and then I'll do a little bit more research, and then how to present it and all that stuff. But I really just, I think I need to just go ahead and do it as best I can and not let perfection stand in the way of doing something. Because we can all kind of freeze when we think that it's not perfect, and we strive for that perfection, and we don't always have the time to get it all the way that we want. So just want to make sure that we leave room for the colors of his blue eyes, and for some reason they always draw him with his eyebrows outside of the mask, so we won't disappoint with that. We'll just keep that similar, same. And some of the stuff as I go through it, I know that I'm going to be inking it, so I don't always necessarily kind of go back. Like this eye stuff in here will not be black. Just as I was building the eye, I wanted it bigger or smaller, and it just looks like a blobby mess. I might go back. Heck, why not? But you just want to make sure that I don't always go back, just because I know that when I go to ink it, I will recognize then that I will have to fix that. And also the same theme as the other drawings. The light will be coming from the top. So all the shadows would just kind of come straight down, and that just makes for a much easier lighting, some easier lighting choices, because you do that very often, or at least in your mind as an artist, you understand visually when the shadow comes in from the top. It's easier to replicate or put down on paper. So I am very influenced by Jim Lee and Joe Madureira, if you've watched any of my draw streams. So as I am drawing, I'm always thinking like what it is that I like about Joe Madureira and Jim Lee, and I try to emulate it as I'm drawing. Sometimes I'll pull out a comic that they've drawn just so that I can solve an issue that I can't solve myself. And once you see how they solve it a couple of times, then you know how to do it yourself. So hopefully the audio is going well. Let me actually check the audio and see maybe what you're hearing. So you are hearing hopefully you're hearing my voice along with the other thing. Just turn up volume on this to see. To kind of cover. Yep. All right. We're in good shape. This technology stuff. We'll figure it out one of these days, but for this draw stream, it seems to be working. I'll feel a little bit more confident when I do it a little bit more often. This will be my third draw stream, and so I kind of have it, and each time has been just a little bit different. The first one was actually the best technologically, but since then, technology has not been kind to me as I prepare for this, where the cameras drop off right as I start the stream, and so I scramble to make sure that there's a camera that can point to the art board here, and then one that can point to me, even though you can't see my mouth. My wife says I got to figure that out, but I need to be able to see. Maybe you don't need to see me. Like, who needs to see my forehead? Maybe you do. Maybe to know that I'm not AI, you want to see my forehead, and me looking down at the page as I'm drawing, so that it can be, so that you can tell that I'm actually drawing it as I'm drawing it, right? So it's all part of the authenticity that we all like, and that we all are starting to recognize that we appreciate as we get inundated with AI and stuff like that. So if you've got an opinion on AI, I'd love to hear it. There are people who get very animated about the AI art, and I, for one, am not a huge fan of big companies using it, but I have played with it, and it can be useful. I don't know where it fits ultimately, especially in comic books, because I've seen some bad AI art that gets published, and I don't know if the editors don't catch it, or the artists don't think that we as the consumer cares whether or not they use AI. And I'm not talking about the 3D assets. It is what it is. Some people use the 3D assets and some people don't, and some people use it better than others. So you just never know, like, my goodness. It's all that, even that is a skill. If you're using AI art, it should be seamless, because if people recognize it as AI art, then you're not doing your job. It's supposed to be an immersion. Like, when you're into the comic, you're supposed to be just lost in the story. But if all you're seeing is 3D assets, then, my guy, you are not doing it right. So get better at it, so that we don't know that you're using AI, and it likely won't affect whether we buy it or not. We just want to be lost in the story when we're looking at comics. But if we're distracted by your laziness in using AI, then we might not come back. That's my feeling on it. But I have done prompts through AI to see if anybody, AI to see if it can generate alpha-red pictures. And I'll be honest, it's surprising how appealing the pictures are. I I mean, it's not my artwork, obviously, and I'll put in that, Joe Madureira drawing Alpha Red comic, and these pictures come out and they don't look like Alpha Red or Joe Madureira, but they do look like some kind of well-drawn, well-created red superhero. So I have played with it, and maybe I'll show you one of these days. But right now, people get so upset over it, and I don't plan on using it anytime soon. So right now it's a no. But can I say it's a no forever? I don't know. I don't know if it's a no forever. Because in comics, it's about putting out a product in a timely manner. And that factors in, and I can see, depending on how heavily you prioritize putting something out on time, as to how much AI you use or how much AI you tolerate in the work. So about 15 more minutes, and I don't mind stopping this on time, because I know this is one that I will definitely go back to. I've got a couple here, a couple of DrawStream products that I don't know that I'll necessarily finish. Not because I don't want to, just because they're not priority. I think this is a priority because this is, I have a use for this. And that is partly why I don't want to just rush into inks on this. I wanna, sometimes you just want to sit with a drawing for a little while when you have the time. And right now, I mean, I have the time because I'm an independent creator, and the fans of independent comics are endlessly, well, not endlessly, but very patient with the creator. And I, for one, am very thankful for that. I don't want to abuse that either, but sometimes as someone who does it mostly as a hobby, appreciates that ability to take a step back for a day or two or three to take a look at it and see if all the pieces are fit the way that you want them to fit. Now, I'm sure if I were to do it all the time, if this was my full-time job, even if I had time pressures, I could probably get it more right the first time than I do currently. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So if you're new to the DrawStream right here, I see somebody popped in. Just say hi. I'm working on this Captain America as a just kind of a testament to what characters have influenced Alpha Red and his not so much his design. I went through the first two characters, and if you stick around, I can pop them back up here. But I've been drawing them on some old sketch covers from previous Kickstarters, which I didn't do this time because I didn't have the time. I knew that I would not have the time to complete. Well, I didn't think I had the time. Obviously, I'm drawing them now, so I probably could have done a sketch cover reward, but I just didn't because I felt the pressure of work, and I just didn't want to disappoint anyone if I couldn't get to them. But I do have some of these sketch covers, and I wanted to use them as a way to maybe fundraise for the future. And to do that, instead of just drawing a bunch of Alpha Red, because not everybody knows who Alpha Red is, I would draw the characters on here that influence my creation of Alpha Red. And if you're new to the channel, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button and that subscribe button. All the YouTube people say it all the time, so I assume that they know what they're talking about, and it helps the algorithm. It helps the video get out in front of other people. So I would appreciate that greatly if you just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you being here. I'd be happy to talk to you about Alpha Red or drawing in general. I've been talking about it, but if you're new to the video right now and you want to say something, Jose, what's going on? No worries. Just glad you're here, man. I am glad you're here. I loved that fan pick that you did for me. It is fantastic. Fantastic. I couldn't stop looking at it all day after you sent it. It was just the colors. Your colors and all of that was just fantastic. I might ask if I can use that for like a trading card or something. Which does remind me, I do have some trading cards that, a trading card. So I put together this trading card. And so if anybody out there wants a trading card and stickers that didn't get one from the campaign, I just got them in. So I think Jose, I might have sent some to you just as a thank you. I hope I put it in the envelope that I sent out today. I did send it out today, Jose. Yep. It's getting down there. So, like I said, I don't think I'm going to ink this one on the live stream, just because I want to sit with it for a day or two and make sure that it's looking good, like these other ones that I had that I showed earlier. Hopefully, you guys are following me on Facebook and stuff, and you're seeing you saw the Cyclops here, and if you didn't know, and most people don't know that I put it on these sketch covers, and then I showed you these other two that helped influence Alpha Red. So the fourth guy who influenced Alpha Red is not so much in his character design, but kind of his power set and his heroicness is maybe the best way to describe it. But yeah, this is getting down to about 10 more minutes of this, and then I actually have some Kickstarter rewards to kind of prepare to mail out on Monday. So the trade paperbacks did come in, so I'm very happy about that. And yeah, Jose, it was I mean, everybody loves it, obviously. Hopefully you saw the couple places that I posted your art, and everybody in general has had a positive reaction to it. So I'm happy to share your talent, and because you spent the time and drew my guy Alpha Red. So blessed. And so I think this is as tight as I want to get with him for right now. I mean, I know that I'm going to be inking him, so I don't want to waste too much time getting super tight. I did post the pencils to the Cyclops onto an ink page, Inker Facebook page, and it was well received there. There were a handful of people who who inked it, and man, they did such a great job. And it's not like how I would have inked it, but they definitely bring something special to the table. So it was really cool seeing that. Captain A, for sure. So that's really as far as I want to get with Captain A. But since we do have a little bit more time, I can go back and really finish up a little bit of. There's not much more to draw to this Spider-Man, but I definitely want to make sure, like you want to make sure, like maybe I'll just get some guide in here before I go in with the webbing, because the spacing is important for the webbing and the direction of the webbing. I've seen some published Spider-Man pictures where the webbing is just terrible and it goes in the wrong direction even, and it just drives me up the wall. Like, where is the editor to tell the artist, hey, that's not the right costume, like the costume is wrong, unless the editor doesn't know. But yeah, the ink definitely brings it to life, but I want to sit with the pencils for a little bit just to see. Sometimes I forget stuff. Like, I don't know if I'm going to bring over this Cyclops picture again, and in the original picture, if you go back and look at my pencils, I forgot the belt thing down here, and even when I inked it all myself, I forgot the belt thing, and I was like, oh my goodness, the belt thing didn't come all the way down. So I had to go back in with my whiteout, and then I whited out the area there, and it's never quite the same or never quite right when you ink over the whiteout stuff, and so it doesn't look quite as good. I wish I had sat with it a little bit longer and went through his costume a little bit better, and recognized that I did not have his costume quite right. So yeah, I don't want to jump into the inks when I do these live streams. It's just while I'm trying to talk and trying to work the technology, my mind isn't as concentrated on those kinds of details. So I want to just make sure that I am conscientious of those details. Boom, boom. I don't know where the webbing is here. Let's make sure I get the webbing right here. Bam, like that. Then bam, 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 bam. Yeah, I'll probably change this too. This looks like too many webbings. I'm used to John Romita Jr. Jose, do you like Spider-Man? Is he up there for you? Who's your favorite superhero? I'm gonna go for another five-ish minutes, and see. And then this up here, this comes in because this is his forearm. Got to think about that a little bit. That was that. That one's for that. Okay. Spidey, I think they have taken the creative freedom too far, kind of missing the whole concept. Do you agree? For sure. So when I found Spider-Man, he was in his 20s, like he was in his mid-20s. He was with Mary Jane. There was none of this. I don't know. It's a mix right now of he's a little too young. He's younger, definitely younger than the Spider-Man that I grew up with. I grew up with the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man and a couple after that. The John Romita Jr. Spider-Man, the J. Michael Straczynski, Mike Deodato Spider-Man. So like this super young Spider-Man is kind of, I understand it for sure, but I don't know. It's easy for me not to collect Spider-Man just because Mary Jane, just all the things that I liked about the original Spider-Man in the 90s and early 2000s just doesn't feel like it's there anymore. So it was easy for me to say, this is not really my Spider-Man, and I just check out. I'll look through my old Spider-Man. I've actually sold most of my Spider-Man when I moved from Pennsylvania to New York. And so if I see something that I like and I have extra fund money, I'll pick up old issues of Spider-Man. I wouldn't mind picking up the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, even though everybody says it's not written well. That's really where I started collecting comics, and so it's not as important to me that it was written well. It just looked really cool. Yeah, there it is for the Spider-Man. I tried to do something with the webbing here, it just didn't work out. There's this pictorial, that. So if you haven't already, Jose, if you could hit that like button. They tell me that when you're doing these live streams and people are hitting the like button, they show it to more people. So I don't know if that's true, but a lot of them say it. So if you haven't already, please do so. And I think we're coming to the end of it here. And next week, or the next draw stream, I will be drawing the final character who had an influence on Alpha Red. And I want to make sure I get his, the posture quite, correct. So I don't want to lay down too many lines. But next time, Jose, we're going to find out who character number 5 is, who has influenced Alpha Red. The look of Alpha Red really comes from two main sources. One is Cyclops with the visor and the hair, and then the color scheme. The color scheme came from Deadpool. Yeah, I think, let me see, I missed one. My favorite was Batman, however, our favorite hero is Lord Aang, his great army. It's Lord Aang. I'm not sure who Lord Aang is. But yeah, I think a lot of people started collecting in the 90s. It seems like, that's kind of like when the buzz happened. So if you missed it, go back and I talk a little bit about this, Jose, Deadpool, and then you just saw me do the Spider-Man and Mr. Cap. So I want to sit on this for a couple days, maybe even a couple hours. I might work on it tonight, but yeah, that is it. So go back, and I do talk about my tools, what I use, and you don't need fancy tools. This is as fancy. I stopped buying the fancier tools. I have a bunch of these harder leads, but for the darker stuff, I just use this. I don't know how old you are, but I used to use these for taking tests. The Scantron. You gotta have your number two pencil. All right. Well, I appreciate you stopping in, Jose. And catch it on the rewind. I'm gonna end the live stream here, but for anybody who is catching it on the rewind, the trade paperbacks will not be for sale online until July, but I will honor the price from the Kickstarter. which was $49 plus $10 shipping, so that the people who backed my campaign and helped me to get it out there were able to get this first. I want them to have it first, and I want them to have it for like a month or two before I even make it available at the normal price in July. So if you really want a trade paperback, I'll honor it, $49 plus shipping and handling. You can PayPal me at James Q Artist. Let me see, did I write that down yet? Nope, not yet. But you can pick up comics at alpharedcomic.com. Issues 3, 4, and 5 I think will be available at the end of the month or beginning of May. So, and if you're catching this on the Rewind, you can also PayPal to jamesqartist@gmail.com, and you can get one of these cool stickers. Jose, I think you're getting both of these, so no need to PayPal. Trading card that just came in, and this, just $5. That'll include shipping. I'll mail it to you. PayPal at jamesqartist@gmail.com. All right. Thank you again, Jose, for sticking around. Let me just read this last one. No, amen. Lord Jesus. Oh, amen, brother. Amen. He is not just a fictional superhero. He is the ultimate hero. And praise God for him and his sacrifice and all that he did for us. All right, brother. Thanks for sticking around. I'm going to end this live stream with, I think I have an outro here. So I'm going to cut this scene. Oh, do I? Bear with me here. Bear with me. I'm going to cut this. Grace, peace. Grace.